So, how is everybody? It's been a while. Been busy. You know, life sometimes just takes you on a tangent and you don't know what you're doing, but you're just trying to make ends meet and trying to pay bills and all that fun stuff. I am taking a trip. I say we, there's no we, it's just me. I'm doing a solo trip. This is a solo trip. Just Josh. I'm not gonna call it just Josh, but anyway. One of my best friends growing up, his name is Greg. I met Greg in 9th grade, and we were in a science class together. We actually had a couple classes together, but in science class specifically, Mr. Hass's physical science class was a requirement when you were going to high school back in the late 80s, early 90s. In order for you to go to college in South Carolina, they wanted you to have this class. This guy was one of the worst teachers ever because he rambled, and a lot of times you wouldn't learn anything because he would just get on a tangent. Looking back, I think he had a bit of ADD and way more life experience than teaching experience. But anyway, I'm in this class, not enjoying it. This new kid moves to town named Greg Steele, and I'm like, who's this Greg kid? I don't know this Greg kid. Who's this Greg kid think he is? Because I had my eyes on this girl, and I thought I'd woo her that year. I was like, this girl, I'm gonna get up next to her, and I'm gonna start thinking of anything I can think about to talk to her about, because she seems like a really nice girl, and blah blah blah. And Greg gets seated right next to her and instantly starts chatting her up, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. But as things work out, he and I end up having to sit next to each other in the class because we rearranged, I think we moved classrooms or rearranged the classroom or something, and suddenly he's sitting next to me. And this was about, what was this? 88, 89, somewhere in that time period. And Guns N' Roses had just started making the scene. Appetite for Destruction was out. I had convinced my mom to take me to the flea market in Florence, the flea market, and I bought a Guns N' Roses tape. Back when you couldn't buy tapes, they had just started doing this parental advisory thing, and they didn't want kids buying tapes with cuss words on it. But I had convinced my mom this was rock and roll, and my mom, being an ex-hippie, bought into it and said, you know what? I like rock and roll. Let's do it. So she helped me get the tape. Thank you, Mom. And Appetite for Destruction changed my life. I listened to it with my mom in the car. First song, Welcome to the Jungle. One of the lyrics, hey baby, you're gonna die, we're gonna die, or something. Anyway, if you haven't heard it, listen to it. Not exactly the song you want to listen to with your mom when you're 15 years old. But anyway, love the tape. I wore the tape out, listened to the tape. Next thing I know, I'm sitting in class, physical science class, and I hear old Gregory start to hum lyrics to one of the songs that's not one of the most popular songs. They had some popular songs. This is one of the ones that kind of became a cult fan favorite later. Just listening to it, I was like, man, this kid is on my wavelength. He's listening to the same stuff I am. He's even liking the same songs that I think are obscure, and I still like it. And as he's humming along to it, I start humming along to it. And he starts singing it kind of under his breath a little bit, and I start singing under my breath a little bit. Next thing I know, I'm thinking, hey, we might be best friends. Turns out we ended up becoming really good friends. Best of friends. You know, you have a lot of people that you come across in your life that you can just do anything with. Just anything. Like, hey man, let's go do this. All right, let's do it. You only have a few people in your entire life that you come into contact with that you could do absolutely nothing with, and that'd be okay. And he's one of those people. He's not the only one, but he's one of those people. There's plenty of times where I went over to his house or he came over to my house and we just sat around. So anyway, growing up, we went different ways. I went into the Marine Corps, he went into college. He became a nurse practitioner and is doing great. Got a wife, and they live down in Albany, Georgia, and we get to visit with them once in a while. They come to Florence. Greg's mom still lives in Florence, so he comes to visit once in a while. I'm sure you've seen him on one of my videos, him popping into town and us going to sing karaoke together. And you know, we sang a lot in my car and sang a lot in his car, and we sang a lot on stage doing karaoke at places. And well, now later in life, you know, I'm almost 44, he is too, and he's in a cover band, a 90s cover band. Pretty cool. And he sent a thing to all of our friends on Facebook saying, hey, you know, we got a pretty cool gig coming up on St. Patty's Day. We're gonna be playing this club. And I told my wife, I said, you know what? I'd like to go visit Greg and hear him perform. I think that would be fun. And she's like, well, why don't you do it? You got extra vacation days. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. So I called him up. He said it was cool with his wife and everything was fine. And I got an extra bedroom. You're welcome to come on down, man. It'll be fun. I was like, cool. So that's where I'm headed. I took Friday and Monday off. Today's Friday. I'm on the road. Got the coordinates punched into my GPS. It's about a 6-hour drive, 6.5 hour drive, depending on traffic. And I got to go through Columbia, Augusta, and then towards Macon, Georgia, and then keep heading southwest. And eventually it'll end up in Albany, Georgia. But I'm heading there, looking forward to it. We got some other friends that we're all in a tight-knit group of guys, and you know, I really kind of wish that a few of them could have made it, or at least one of them. But we got one of them that's a bartender who's let's face it, St. Patty's Day is kind of his Christmas time, because everybody wants to come out and drink and be Irish, and he loves it, and he's gonna make a ton of money, and I hope you do, buddy. We got one friend that kind of lives far away that I don't know can make the trip. I tried to call him and invite him, and he sent me a message back saying that he was at his daughter's field hockey game, and he'd call me back, and that was about a month ago, and I'm assuming that he's done with the field hockey game, but he probably just forgot. But anyway, if you're watching, buddy, love you too. Just you know, how about hit me up? I'm just saying. I doubt you ever watch my videos, but if you're watching this, you know who you are. And we got another buddy of ours that, you know, he's a world traveler with his job and with his wife, and they live up in New York, and that's just way too far to travel to come see one of your buddies, you know. But we're gonna plan something. We're gonna plan something cool in the future. We've been talking about going and visiting one of our friends who lives near Baltimore in the Salisbury, Maryland area, and possibly renting like a house near the beach and doing the whole jet ski drive up to the bar kind of thing, and tooling around the bay and just having a good time doing that. We've talked about it. We've talked about doing a lot of things. Nothing's really set yet, but you know, if we do it, you can guarantee I'll make videos about it and talk about it. So anyway, I'm gonna shut up now and concentrate on driving. I got idiots wanting to speed up and slow down. So thanks for watching. Keep in touch, and there's gonna be more. So this is just the first video of the trip.